Hey, this is Shane Hips with the Home Pros Radio Show. Not only am I a contractor, I also work in the real estate industry. If you own or operate a real estate brokerage that you're considering stepping away from, or if you're planning your retirement, give me a call so we can discuss how to keep your cash flow coming to you. Don't let all of your hard work fall by the wayside. Call me at 864-326-5252. That's 864-326-5252. I look forward to talking to you.
The Home Pros Radio Show. Brought to you by Prime Lending. Home loans made simple. Welcome to the Home Pros Radio Show, the premier resource for the well-informed homeowner. With over 30 years of combined home inspection and renovation experience, your hosts, Tommy Donovan and Shane Hips, help you stay on top of your home improvement and home maintenance needs. Visit homeprosradio.com to access the trusted product and service providers that are a part of our Home Pros network. Find the Home Pros Radio Show on Facebook and Twitter for regular show updates and additional information on the topics covered on our show.
If you're going to take something out, if you're going to disconnect something, I just recommend to folks, just get rid of it. Just don't leave any of it into question as whether or not it's working or not, or whether it's there.
I would always prefer to do that. You still have some customers that just flat out don't want to, they're not going for it. You know, it's like really, you need to do it. You need to do it. And I have walked away from jobs because they wouldn't do it. It's there's no way for me to safely tie this back in and feel comfortable about it.
Well, that's one of the things we run into when we're doing home inspections, and it's regarding, materials that what we like to say is one of our favorite terms, retired in place.
Okay. I've never heard that one. So
really?
I don't think so.
I use that a lot when I see there's an old water heater that's been retired in place in the crawl space.
I understand.
Old HVAC equipment, or like I just had a house where I could see old wiring, even though in the main panel, I saw new Romex, but then I'd go up in the attic in the crawl space and I see older rubberized wiring. It looks like the house has been rewired, but I don't know.
Right.
And I don't want to lead anybody down the wrong path if that stuff is still active.
So retired in place.
I'll say, hey, it appears as if this wiring's been retired in place, but consult a licensed electrician too.
Right.
To be sure.
Yeah. Because, leaving stuff in there like that, it's very easy for someone to tie it back in. Mm-hmm. It doesn't take much at all. Mm-hmm. To start energizing and stuff. So yes, it does. It's always better to get rid of any of that.
Yeah.
Well, I like your term, retired in place.
And that's just one of those that I learned at one of these conferences that I go to and things like that. And when it comes to items like that, it's not just electrical. It's also into plumbing, and that leads us to our photo from the field from this.
Photo from the field.
What are you looking at? I know what I'm doing.
Did you see that?
This was a kitchen sink cabinet that they relocated the sink when they redid the kitchen.
Okay.
And they left the pipe sitting there coming out of the wall. They just disconnected. Let it sit in there. Well, it's easy to go, so no, we're not even using that anymore. Why is that a reportable condition? Why are you going to make a big deal out of that? Well, the main reason is because if you go to I actually have this is one of those, I guess, 2 photos from the field. Because if you go to the other end of that pipe, right there, it's wide open in the crawl space.
Yeah.
So I wrote it up. They have a plumber remove this. Well, it's not being used. Why is it such a big deal? Well, because it becomes a conduit.
Yes.
For critters.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't think realize that. You've just created an elevator for the mice to get in the house.
Go up and come right out in that cabinet.
Yeah, right into your kitchen, right into your sink.
Yep.
Where you got plenty of
food,
temptation for the critters to come in. So no shame in writing something like that up.
Right. Hey, this is Shane Hips with the Home Pros Radio Show. I'm looking for a few real estate agents that are considering a change in brokerage. Maybe you're wanting opportunities to make more money. You're possibly just not happy where you are. You could even be a new agent or considering getting into real estate. If any of these sound like you, give me a call at 864-326-5252. so we can discuss some of the options that are available to you. That's 864-326-5252. Talk to you soon.
With the plumbing, sometimes I'll see it where there's a pipe that's coming up into the attic and it stops.
Yes.
Maybe an old cast iron pipe, or in some cases, even a PVC.
Right.
And I'm like, it looks like we got a plumbing vent coming up into the attic.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's not connected to anything anymore. Right? Well, if it's not connected to any of the plumbing, you still want to remove it. You still want to seal it because that provides a conduit for things like bugs, but also can actually easily spread a fire.
Yeah, the fire
through
thing
floors,
too. Yeah.
Floors in the house.
Mm-hmm. You just
that.
feeding it oxygen.
Yeah.
Endless supply.
So, when it comes to terms like retired in place or leaving things behind, I just recommend getting rid of it. If you're going to do a renovation, it's worth the extra time and trouble, even expense.
Yes.
To just get rid of the old stuff. Because that way it wipes out any question as far as whether or not you got, like the house I mentioned earlier that I had rewired myself. It was originally wired in all knob and tube. That was all we had in the house.
Right.
And when I rewired that thing, I got rid of all knob and tube because I didn't want anybody having any doubt.
Right.
Whether or not it was active or not. And I can't tell you the number of times I write up, I see a knob and tube in the attic, which probably most of the time is not active.
Yes.
But it's still
there.
Warrants a call to an electrician to come in. And as a home seller, do you want to deal with that when you turn around and selling a house? All of a sudden, knob and tube can be like saying aluminum wiring in some cases, or mold or something like that. That could really freak out a homeowner.
Yeah, a lot of people are really freaked out when they hear knob and tube.
Yeah,
it's like, oh god, that's a shock hazard. Yep, that's how it worked back then, though.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Sometimes I mentioned mechanical equipment, heating and air equipment, or like a water heater that's in an attic or in a crawl space that's just been left because it couldn't get it out.
Yeah, that's what I love is when the water heater is bigger than the access to a crawl space.
And that's like, one of those building codes we've learned the hard way.
Yes.
Now the building codes say you can't have an access to an area like a crawl space or an attic unless it's big enough to fit the equipment that's in the attic through it.
Right.
And so there are plenty of old houses out there with old boilers and old floor furnaces.
Yep. Those in the crawl space, and then up in the attic, you might have a furnace or something that with a little scuttle hole in a closet. It's like, we can't get that thing out of there.
Right.
I have had to add attic accesses, just to be able to replace the
stuff like that,
the stuff in the attic.
So if you can get rid of it, do it.
Thank you for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show. If you have a question for the Home Pros, visit us online at homeprosradio.com, where you can also catch our podcast episodes and learn more about the topics and guests we bring to you each week. The Home Pros Radio Show is made possible by Prime Lending, RIC Home Inspections, Closing Contractor, Radon Recon, and Carolina Heating Service. If you are a trusted service provider in our area and would like to contribute to the show, send us a message through our Contact Us page at homeprosradio.com. Once again, thanks for listening to the Home Pros Radio Show.